Eyes Open Network report. Something I've been following since Friday. There's been a bill being quietly moved through Congress that has been dubbed, quote, dangerous and unprecedented in its language, and is considered a, quote, declaration of international martial law. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with what martial law means, if you're new to the Eyes Open Network, you're new to, what's going on in the world and geopolitics and economic collapse and all of those things that we talk about here on the Eyes Open Network. Martial law is a very dangerous situation. Thomas Jefferson is quoted as saying, "The greatest danger to American freedom is a government that ignores the Constitution." And what martial law basically does is gives the President of the United States the authority to deploy U.S. military troops anywhere in the area in which they declare martial law. What this quiet bill that is trying to float through a very empty Congress because of the snowstorm in Washington, D.C., how convenient, is not just martial law in a specific area, but we're talking global martial law. I have an article here that I'm pretty much going to read in verbatim. And here's the quote from Thomas Jefferson. "The greatest danger to American freedom is a government that ignores the Constitution." And if you're not familiar with martial law, here it is. "The exercise of government and control by military authorities over the civilian population of a designated territory." Global martial law would be the entire 360 world of martial law. So what are we reading here? And this is the quote. "This resolution is a total rewrite of the War Powers Clause of the Constitution." Ignoring the Constitution. Wait, I just read something about that with Thomas Jefferson, didn't I? Continuing the quote, "Let's be clear about that," said Democratic Senator Chris Murphy, saying on the Senate floor last week in regards to the S.J. Resolution 29, a bill purporting to give the sitting president the power to declare war on ISIS. "It's essentially a declaration of international martial law," Murphy said. Now, this is a pretty big deal. International martial law. Speaking of fast track of authorization for the use of military force bill proposed by the Republican Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Murphy explained the resolution would permanently hand over war-making authority to the office of the president. So, another quote from Murphy is, "A sweeping transfer of military power to the president that will allow him or her to send U.S. troops almost anywhere in the world for any reason with absolutely no limitations." This came from Senator Murphy, adding that Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11 of the Constitution says, vests in Congress the responsibility to declare war. So the Constitution of the United States of America gives the authority to declare war to Congress. This bill that's secretly being pushed through the Congress while there's nobody there is to completely ignore that clause in the Constitution and give the president complete and absolute authority to send U.S. troops almost anywhere in the world for any reason with absolutely no limitations. As I stated before, from Thomas Jefferson, the greatest danger to American freedom is a government that ignores the Constitution. Continuing to quote Murphy, while the ink is still wet on this resolution, it's safe to say that this resolution is the wrong way to authorize war against ISIS. The language of this resolution is dangerous and it is unprecedented. The American people certainly don't want Congress to hand over the power to the President to send our troops into any country, anywhere in the world, for almost any reason. And that's what this resolution will do. Murphy went on to say, it gives the power to the President without consulting Congress to deploy U.S. forces in any one of the 61 countries where ISIS has a single sympathizer. Murphy also warned that the bill could possibly give the President the power to deploy troops on U.S. soil. Because this bill says it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter what the geography is. That's what's part of this bill, which could mean U.S. soil. So further, as Murphy goes on, quoting, well, as we've seen here in the United States, the threat of ISIS is present in virtually every corner in the world. Thus, this resolution would give the President total, absolute carte blanche to send our young soldiers to any corner of the world without consulting Congress. Senator Murphy's comments have been echoed by a former congressman, Ron Paul, who, take him or leave him. He makes some pretty good points sometimes. He said the new resolution would make the, quote, Iraq war authorization of 2002 look like a walk in the park. Paul also said, let's be clear, if Senate Majority Leader McConnell succeeds in passing this open-ended war authorization, the U.S. Constitution will be all but a dead letter. The Constitution will be all but a dead letter. Let's lean back again to our good friend Thomas Jefferson. The greatest danger to American freedom is a government that ignores the Constitution. This is a very big deal. And there's plenty of information out there. You can go and do some more research on it. You can look it up. Alex Jones has a very, very succinct video on the martial law bill that's being sneaked through the Senate. Not unlike the Federal Reserve Act that was snuck through the Senate in 1913. And wait a minute, it was done on Christmas Eve in the middle of a snowstorm. Interesting. Here we are, one of the most record-breaking snowstorm on the East Coast, and we also have another sneaky little bill floating through the Congress. This is not an accident, folks. Do your homework. Do your research. Martial law is coming, and it will give the U.S., the international martial law, even worse, will give the U.S. military, give the U.S. president, whether it's current President Obama or the new president, carte blanche ability to send troops anywhere in the world, including U.S. soil, to do the president's bidding. Because they don't have to consult Congress if this bill gets through. There's no consulting of Congress. It's just, okay, I need to send the troops over here, go. Okay, let's send the troops to New York, go. Okay, we need to send the troops to Oregon, go. We need to send the troops to China, go. We need to send the troops to Russia, go. You can start war with any country under the umbrella that they believe that there's ISIS terrorist cells or sympathizers in that country. Whether they prove it or not is a whole other issue. Martial law gives the president the authority to just send the troops without checking with anyone. Let's hear what you have to say about this. I want to see some comments below. I want you guys to share this video. I want people to know what's going on. I want martial law to be a phrase that people understand, that people know, that people can get behind defending. Because if you don't understand what it is, then you need to do some homework. Get your eyes open. Share, comment, repost. Do whatever you can to make sure people understand that martial law is not a good idea. And that this bill that's being snuck through Congress is dangerous and unprecedented. It's an Eyes Open Network news report.